Okay, so let's start from your side. Let's look at from your perspective. Uh,
So
you're
I'm
also.
also pretty bad at adapting. Like when I have non-traditional, like I have a Victor ADC and a Smolder mid, I'm not. I turn to have a pretty low win rate with like non-traditional
Mm-hmm.
ADCs or.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, so one thing you should assume in terms of strength, especially with these runes, Victor gonna be very weak when it comes down to damage.
Yeah,
So when the game starts, you already have to go through some thoughts in your head. For example, by
yeah.
asking yourself if you have some priorities for an invade, which lane is the most gankable, uh, where should you start your pathing from. And I think there are like plenty of questions that can go through your head, um, depending on the runes, on the summoner spells your allies have. For example, somewhat with Ignite has actually like a
Mm-hmm.
way better potential to be ganked if someone has proper runes in the matchups that has more poke potential. Let's say like if you would have like a Gragas with Grasp instead of Phase Rush, then Garen would be way lower as an example. So often you can also look at the runes as well, summoner spells that can also indicate different things beside like the generic kit of the champion, because the early game damage can be actually quite different if they have the proper runes, which I know will give a little bit more complication to your game right now.
Yeah,
But that's also something that could be looked at. Um, and so for now, you should also have a game plan as well. Beside, your pathing, like one thing you can ask yourself: should I dual Sinzao? Do I have priority for scuttle scraps?
yeah. I'm
And
thinking I should not duel Shincha. That's what I'm
yeah, you
thinking.
don't win that. So it's really good if you know that you don't win the duels. That's at least you have like some knowledge over the pacing of the early game. You do lay down a ward. Uh huh. And so now,
So
mhm.
so basically, yeah. Um, my plan here is because if I clear Raptors, I stop by them, and I clear Scuttlecrab, go through mid and go Raptors again, I will actually have 1200 gold to buy the first component for like a Triforce or Kraken. So that's why I'm starting wolves here.
So also like one thing I would really watch out for as well before you decide that you want to steal raptors is that when you take the camps, or at least in between, now you have the best amount of uptime. You can press the F buttons. So sometimes you can move your camera, but in here it's fine if you press the F buttons. You know how to use them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So in here you can use your F button. This is way faster because you can already see what you need to by pressing your F button on Morgana. So you can observe how did the fight go, how many skill shots did they hit, how low they are. And so this will give you also additional information. Because trust me, even on top lane, like people just all in each other, level 1, it doesn't matter if they win or not. This happens even in Grandmaster. This is not only like, not just a diamond specific thing, you
Yeah.
can see some pattern that maybe we could gank top lane, potentially after blue,
So,
but
so basically, I saw Xin Zhao there, and I also saw that he only had 4 CS. So I assumed he would be too slow. He
yeah.
would need to take both camps. So I actually invade here because he moved to fight and was delayed.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Just one concern that can show up is that Ari does have a priority.
Yeah,
But I think like one thing to watch out for, Ari does have a priority. But Sinzao will be stuck on these camps because he tried to
yeah.
level 2 gank after blue. So you are punishing that. And meantime, he does actually take the Wolves right now. Currently he's supposed to be on the Wolves. We saw him here. He had 4 CS, which means it's one camp. He'll be able to steal this. Skip forward the things a bit. You do try to steal this. So ideally, like two things also can go through your head currently. Is that you can put 2 points in your queue if you're looking to full clear, if you're looking to gank.
I do that sometimes. I do
Mm-hmm.
that sometimes.
So in here you can put a point in your E because it's very questionable if you can gank or not. So in here I think it's totally fine. But a bit more, I think, a bit more camera movement would also be great in game. Now you do actually like one thing you should also spot. You had a gank ganking angle here potentially. But Sinzao could intercept. But I think one thing to look at, is always on the map or just by moving your camera. I think you should just observe like the body language of the enemy champion. For example, this guy walked towards the bush, and so now you can assume that they fairly walk towards the bush for a good reason to ward it, You see this ward? So in here she just wards,
Yeah.
that's why she walks upwards. And so now you should have a good assumption if I take this camp. I cannot gank from this angle. I have to dodge the vision to gank like this, right?
But can I even gank with Smolder mid with
Not now,
30%
though.
HP? Yeah.
Not now, because since I've just finished these wolves, he's already
Yeah.
here. And so now it's a bit risky, it's a bit dicey, because he's too low, she has a charm, so it can be risky.
The only thing I'm really thinking about right now is just to race him down. I'm trying to race him to beat him to the camps. So I try to ping my top laner here. Yeah.
I think that's really good that you pinged him. You could also ping their ward as well. That's actually really helpful. If you ping their ward, they're just gonna ward for themselves,
Yeah.
But this is hardly counter gankable, just because he has a phase rush, he has W by the time you arrive, then Sinzao just kills you. So you're kinda not the best in early game fights unless you have like a good W, and your ally champion is strong enough.
So yeah, I don't see anything I can do in mid right now.
Not a lot, because it's very risky to gank mid lane.
Yeah. So I rush to take the Scuttle Crab before him. Here I consider a gank, but since I was right behind me, so I'm not sure I actually want this. I see this as a massive risk. So
not really. They have like slow knockups, not that slow. So your bot doesn't have good collapse. They are very slow paced at following you up.
Yeah.
So
So I decide not to gank.
I think that's really consistent if you take these choices, because this would be a very risky gank. So I think that's a good choice.
Yeah.
But I would say there is also like a little risk, by taking the Scuttle Scrap, because they had somewhat of a priority on bot lane, and there's a chance that they rotate on you. You could theoretically sidestep their skill shots with E, but I would say there is a little risk, out of getting the Scuttle Scrap. Really good that you queued the bush to check Sinzao. You kite towards the bush to see if Sinzao is not coming. You kite upwards to play around the potential invade. You time your smite. I would actually time my smite really well there, because I think there is a chance, Sin invades.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I'm not perfect mechanically. I'm not gonna try to say that. So yeah. So I basically these have already spawned, so I decide to clear these and then recall.
Honestly, you had already your recall after red, no? I mean, the thing is like the objective is coming soon. It's 5 minutes, and you have to ask questions. We have 1,221 gold. If we take wolves and groms, do we have to take them? Do they give us a specific power spike level, a item spike? And often in this case scenario, not really. Not really. Like, I think you would value more a better recall for now, I would say, than these camps, because then you'll be able also to get a easier rotation on Drake. But I think probably like from the red, when we started doing red, I think before that you could then arguably also recall. So we have a little bit of a better space to also get red, control ward the Drake, so we have vision on it. And if Sinzao flips it, we can kill him. So then we have more consistent opportunities to secure these Drakes, because it does look like, just based on like, what's like really outstanding, that you have two scalers. I guess Wukong also scales quite well. Viego scales, so this does look like a very long game, that will be also Drake dependent. That's why I'm like it would be very nice, I think, if you recalled like before red, got a control ward on the Drake. I would say that would be great, because it does look like your team doesn't really wards it, and then we would have like a bit more vision, overall. So in here we do B, but I think this is fine as well. I think if you would tell your bot lane to ward Drake, I think that would be also okay if you take these, before grabs. Like, we can also like try to play around grubs if you feel like you can snowball hard enough, but it does look like with these two champs, I don't think so we can snowball way too hard.
Usually on the first back, I buy a sweeper and a controller if I can, but I actually forgot it this time.
I think it's fine if you don't. It's fine if you don't early on. It's a bit bad to buy control wards. So usually your teammates should get it, cause like if you play Ivern, I think it's more okay if you do it. But if you play Viego, you're more item dependent if it makes sense. Like if you play Skarner, I think it's also fine if you buy controls. But on a DPS champ, it's not that good of an idea to delay your spikes, you know.
So yeah, here I take Drake because I saw Sinzao top lane. He showed on a ward. Yeah. And I have a prio mid and bot, so I think this is... Yeah.
I think this is a good idea, definitely. This will definitely also provide you a really nice level 6. Does Wukong kill him? Let's see. It does. It does. That's perfect. And this also gives you like a really good indication on if you could actually steal his blue or look for a bot dive. It looks like Janna warded, right?
Yeah, so I go for the blue.
Yeah, it's way better if you go for the blue. So no opportunities yet. Mid is also not very gankable. So we just stick to farming. And now, how much gold
I drop a ward there also. So
now we could also like arguably... the guy doesn't have a flash, you know, on Sinzao, so at this point I would just aim to rush top lane, actually ping my support. And here you should ping your support, so I think if you just try to ping your support, often they will rotate, I swear. So I think in here we just skip Scuttle Scrap, it's not that great. And ping the support, and now we potentially secured both objectives, you know, this way. Cause one good assumption you have to have in your head, if Morgana roams, Janna is not a good diver and they have full vision in here against Sinzao, you know, there's just so much vision. We see Sinzao from here, right? So in here there is no risk that Victor gets dived if he is alone, right? Even if Janna is 6 or Jinx. So then Morgana can roam for free, so in this situation it's good. You know, if you ping your support, there will be no int play on bot lane, you know, they will not take plates or whatever. It's not an Alistar, but if they have an Alistar, you know, then your mindset maybe should be different, you know, especially if Alistar hits 6 because he can dive, right? But sometimes you can also have like a good assumption when it's not gonna end up in any bad ways, you know.
Yeah, I'm just catching the XP because smokers are falling.
You don't get a lot of XP as a jungle, but I think it's okay if you pick it up because it's a bit risky to walk to OV too much damage though. I think it's fine if you're catching XP, but you should do it in the safest possible way. In the sense that you can lose CS, but don't lose the XP if it makes sense. Because right now, we also kinda want to, perhaps, potentially, not really, because Garen is actually plays TP, but it's on cooldown, So we could actually look for a fight. Wukong doesn't have ore actually. Let me see. Does Wukong have ore? Not really. They killed. No, actually. I think we have too many cooldowns on the ultimate. Smolder doesn't have TP, so I think there are too many indicators that tell us that this Void Grab fight will not be consistent, you know. So I think now we can drop that. Does look like they use too many resources just to kill a Garen, so that's fine.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking that these Void Grabs are too risky. So I play this poorly. I'm hit by everything, but.
Probably like your finger should be on your W to dodge, you know, you shouldn't use it to CS just to dodge, I feel like, earlier on, and then we can get our, because in here it's a bit risky, it's very risky, because like, she saw you on vision, and Sinzao also has the info now, we heard the grabs as well, so it's 100% here, you know. So, we can take wolves, but it's also very risky to kite them here, because then he could WE you, so... It's kind of like you have to recall actually, because it's very risky here to.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Sinzao is, so here comes Janna, and I just
he was here because they took grabs, you know. So every time the void grabs die, when the last one dies, it makes a sound effect, you know.
Yeah.
It appears also that they killed it. So this is a trick you can use as a jungler. If 2 grabs are alive, don't kill the last one. Gank mid or top instead if you can. And that way they will not know that you are at void grabs, you know, if you leave one alive.
Yeah.
So that's like a trick you
I,
can
but
use.
I just missed it. Yeah. So
Janna invades, but not successfully. That's the good part. We get out with our.
uh, so here I assume that Xin Zhao will just take my entire top side.
Yeah, he
So I
will.
so I just immediately run somewhere else.
You can dive bot lane, so every time Janna is not bot, like the reason why Jinx can't be dived is because of Janna. But now that Janna roams, they control your, basically top side. You cannot do anything about it currently. What you want to do is just to not even be around mid lane most likely. Just kind of like wanna be bot lane because of Ahri's R. We can gank her without R, so we dive bot lane. We skip the camps, we just use our E on the wall and we walk bot lane.
Yeah.
Let's see what do we do here. You W, you walk towards mid lane. Does it look like you walk towards mid lane? Because we didn't really spot Janna here yet as well, because usually they walk through the jungle to ward or something.
Can you be paused for like just 30 seconds? I have to answer a call.
Yeah,
just
sure.
to tell them I'm busy.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry about that.
Don't you worry about it, it can happen. Okay, so I think in here you're looking for a counter gank, right?
Yeah,
I think,
I'm seeing because I see R is pretty low, but I'm still pretty scared because I pretty much see Smolder as useless.
No. So he has some damage. Like, in here you should ban W, you're not on vision. You flash in the bush, connect your W, right? 100% he will hit his R, Smolder. 367. So he has like a basic attack Q, So he actually does some damage, Smolder, Like, not a lot, but it's enough, Not a lot, but it's enough. Like, combined, these are actually over 500, Combined. And so you just basically finish the guy off. I think the only problem is you don't have, R, but that shouldn't be a concern. If you hit your W, smite, everything, we get the Ahri reset, charm the other guy, all in the Sinzao, So I think if you went for a element of surprise W, instead of like continuing this, you would just like walk down, charge a W, flash on her, she's dead, she's just dead,
Yeah, I'm kiting towards here. I was aiming to start charging my W over the wall, but then I see Janna.
Yeah, Janna was here.
So I didn't see her at first. She was out of elevation. So I start charging my W over the wall towards Ahri, as you were talking about.
Yeah, because this is their perspective, So that's why I was like, I said, like you should ban charge up early a W here, so like they don't see you on the all-in, right? Like basically here, because now since I will start to see you, he will have vision on you because he walked here, and now we can't really go for it. Because Ahri has flash, Ahri has R, and we can't connect our foot,
So basically, he destroys me in the 1v1, so I flash away from. Basically, when I see Janna, I see that it's not going to work. So I change. Just.
I mean, one thing makes me think, that like legit Smolder also split at his damage as well for some random reason. But you saw how much like damage this Smolder actually did, before he died. So no, this is a fair assumption. He even split at his damage. This Ahri would just die, Like Janna's shield, like TW max, this shield is like 93, Like this not gonna be a lot. And her Q also needs to be charged up, otherwise it's just like a half a second stun, knock off, So it's like this guy just dies in no time. Because I think the thing is, Smolder also missed his ultimate because Ari wasn't stunned actually. So I think the damage numbers, matter a lot to know. Yeah, he even missed his R.
But don't you think it's correct for me to disengage here? Like, I'm going to die in 3v2 here.
It's about an element of surprise flash, you know. So in here, you're not doing reps anymore. You're here. In here, you're charging up a W, and then you're gonna flash, you know.
Yeah.
And then she gonna be dead during your stun, you know. Like she can't flash away, she can't R away. She hasn't even got mana for R, you know. So it's like Janna is here, but she doesn't have R, you know. If she had R, it would be a bit more scary. But like in here, you're already walking towards the wall.
And so basically, I was just a second too slow. Because I started charging it up, but I was too slow.
Probably like 1 or 2 seconds. Probably.
Yeah, 1 or 2 seconds. Yeah.
Because I think it's a very big skill, you know, to drop the camps and just like, you know, just turn to a gank. Because this camp will not allow you to carry the game anyways, you know. So I think you have to like balance moving your camera and taking an active decision whether is this camp worth for me? Does this give me at least level 6? You know, is this like way more consistent? So there are like a lots of like thoughts that go through your head. But you have to decide in real time what's more worth, you know. That's the thing about Viego.
Yeah.
Right, but shit happens and we can move on from this play and just see what happened next. I would say I probably wouldn't duel at all the Sinzao, so if you see him I would then probably just be away, you know. Oh, actually you don't have E, you don't have E. And in here I think it's also like, I think you do this very risky thing. So you're very low on HP, you get chunked, but then they invade you, you know. So
yeah,
like,
that's
you
fine.
can't do this, you know. You just can't walk back into the same side of the jungle because they control it now, you know. They saw you on vision, they control it.
I was just going in the bush to see them. That's so I stop here. Like I'm just waiting to see if they are coming or not.
The thing is, Janna possibly warded. That's why she walked here, you know, before you saw her. So so every time you are too low on HP, maybe you have some gold on you. Not a lot now, but we are too low. Often it's very risky into Janna to actually step up here, you know, because I think likely Sinzao will arrive. There are no objectives now, so best if he just steals your camps, you know. Best if he just steals your camps because he got pryos as well. Actually, not the best pryo, but he got Janna at least to disengage him in the worst case scenario. Sinzao also has ore right now, which makes him also kind of scary,
So yeah, I'm trying to ping my team, but
it's kind of difficult because we don't have ore. Yeah, we really need our ultimate, you know. Okay, soon it's coming up though. I think you're looking for a play right now, right? I think we can kill a Janna at least, no? Oh, the Janna is very fucking fast. WQ, WRQ. Not really. I guess she has an E though. She has an E though. Janna has E. I think maybe you catch her now. W? Oh! Oh,
that's too slow.
Wait, couldn't you? Nah. Yeah, you can, or it doesn't use. W. Oh, you got it. Yeah, it's fine. 2 for 1. I think, like, probably maybe you could then go this way as well. I think it would be a little better. Because, yeah, maybe. I think if we walk this path, honestly, it would be a little better. Okay. Well, fair enough, you know, fair enough. We got 2 kills or 1.
Was too slow to react. But yeah, got him.
Yeah, it's fine, it's all fine. 2 kills for 1.
I kill her with the Janna auto attack.
Yeah. 2 kills for 1, it should be decent enough. You're getting your Kraken soon, and you seem to be way more snowbally than Sinzao anyway, so in terms of scaling you will do way better as well.
So basically he's still bot lane, so I see him kill him, so that's why I'm invade here.
Probably you should then also check, you know, if he had your red buff on him. He doesn't have red, but you can see if he stole or not, you know, or where does he path towards. So we can see he didn't actually stole your red.
Yeah.
It's really good that you're actually aiming to like just resource management, steal his camps, cause we can't really gank, you know, in general, because of Ari having Aurora, you know, so it's kind of difficult in general. Garen is very hard as well, because he got phase rush, so these are not like very gankable lanes, honestly, most of the times. It's really good to just know when you should stick to just CSing, you know. I think it's really good that you're leaving right now, because it's very risky, I think, to greed for Krugs as well, because then there is some risk of rotations. Janna is also perma here apparently, so...
But like, you see, up to this point, I've been making pretty good decisions, I think, like, overall. I mean, there are some, like, mechanical things, but I think I've been invading correctly and trying to, but...
I think yeah, like fairly good like macro decisions when it comes down to like potential invades, you know, and risks. But I think like one is like you have like a very bad like for example, okay, we know when to invade, you know, our gank, if we can gank or not, how easily we could gank, you know, you can actually calculate it, how likely you can gank. I think your main problem is every time you finish a fight, we clearly saw by the way Sinzao and Janna here. But I think you feel way too safe, you know, after getting a kill, and you don't have an assumption that, you know, Janna and Sinzao could be here, but they walk through vision, you know, exactly into your jungle. And you know, if a Janna ganks you twice, they will just like perma camp you, you know, that's how it goes. So in here it's just like a memory check, you know, you gotta like track them, and because in here mid wasn't gankable, they will just choose to invade you. So then we have to give all, you know. But because we give all, both can get plates, potentially dive. These are not really good champs to dive, that's the problem. Maybe if they poke Jinx down, they could all in. Depends, if Morgana hits her Q or something. But same logic applies. You get the kill, it's really nice. With Wukong together, we could go back in the jungle, or if we ping Smolder. But again, Smolder is nowhere. So, for now,
like,
I think you just drop your camps.
I don't actually understand how to win this game. Like, I can't see any opportunities to get ahead. Like, I'm just playing defensive.
I think there's like a lot of proactivity in your gameplay, and that's how like Agburin plays as well, that consistently reaches rank 1. So just because you didn't like take the more risky decisions, that doesn't make you a bad player, or if you don't have like an immense lead currently, because you just played consistently, you know?
Yeah.
But I think in terms of, if you wanna greed for Gromp, I think it would be a bit better if you approached it from the upper side. So
To be honest, I just lost track on Sinzao and Janna. I just missed them
but
going over
risky.
the board.
But I see it risky either way, very risky,
Yeah.
But I think if you got Garen, if you clicked on Garen, and you pinged Wukong, I think this would be an okay fight. So I think if you wanna contest your camps, you have to communicate. If the guy doesn't rotate, then we drop it.
The problem is I wasn't assuming I would have to contest my camps. I wasn't assuming that since I was here. But,
I think in the jungle, like a really good assumption is that you're always racing with someone else, you know, that's the thing. Like you always have to be active, you always have to take active decisions, and I think one time you let your guards down and you can already be invaded, that's the thing about jungle, you know. The higher you go, the more this will happen.
So, yeah. Here we dive Jinx, which is like nice.
Jinx dive, so there is some trade-off at least for Janna permanently being in your jungle. But now we want to actually get that Drake, so we have second Drake, scaling comp.
Exactly, that's why I'm going straight for the dragon.
Straight to the dragon, that's a good idea. Let's see what do we do here. We get this Drake really quick. Smolder dice again.
But I mean, yeah, I'm not against like challenger players. Like, I feel like I should be able to find some leads or something. I'm just.
It's a bad game. Like sometimes it's a bad game because, as I said, Ari Garen are not super gankable most of the times, especially if Garen perma devs and Ari has like an ult that she perma holds into, and if she gets a kill, she resets it, you know. even if she goes in. Then bot lane just ints, so it's like it's a bit hard, cause like often there are some games even with a ganking jungler, it's kind of risky or difficult to get something done, you know. So there are just some very stale games where you just can't really get a lead, you know. You just can't really. Cause it's very bad because your team has like way too many scaling champs, and so we don't like if you add Lissandra mid lane, you know, like most of the times you could gank her. It doesn't matter if they have an Ahri mid or LeBlanc. Like if you have a Lissandra, she has insane gank setup, but Smolder doesn't really have the same tools, you know. So it just depends on your team composition how likely you can get ahead. Because these days like jungle is way less slow body, so like you don't get to like carry that hard as before, you know. You could just 1v9. So it's a bit more limited, you know, a bit more limited. We could try to punish this Janna or something. Morgana is rotating. Oh, she didn't E herself though. Misses Q. Probably the hour wasn't needed, but okay.
I know.
So it's really good that you don't extend it way too much. I think that's I think that's like a good attribute of yours. Because I think a lot of viego players just would like go in with Janna's body and die. I think it's really good that at least like there are some case scenarios where you really know your limits and when you should really go deeper.
Yeah.
Again, uncontestable.
So yeah, I don't really see. I'm just tracking the vision plant. I'm recalling. There's no, I can't see any way for us to fight here.
Sometimes that's the best thing you can do if you just take a B. Sometimes the best thing to do is just not fighting actually. I think in here I would just start to look actually to shadow my bot lane.
Yeah, I think. I'm just watching Garen, but I think I turned back. I see in there.
I think he's dead anyways, honestly.
Yeah. I turned back. You see, I was just a bit slow to think.
So, cause like in here, like what are we looking for is potentially. So when we sit in the middle here, we can take active decisions. We can observe that Jinx is not here, you know, but Janna is perma roaming, so Jinx is most likely isolated because she has to rotate for this wave. So it's kind of like in here, if you didn't walk upwards, you could then sit here, observe maybe the hex gate if someone comes in. We can't really do a since although he has 2 items, is way too fed, but basically like from in here we could then look for opportunities. But it does look like that Jinx is not guarded by Janna. So your best collapse would be Jinx, because these guys will just wave clear, they will not be dived. If they play well, they're fairly behind, but I think assumingly Victor has does have his upgrade, So I think mainly you're looking for mid lane.
But I didn't have vision on Jinx until now, really. So I wasn't sure where she was. Like I saw her all the way into tower.
She was here.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, I'm not assuming I can actually collapse, and I'm not. I wasn't assuming that she would push up. I was just seeing. I saw her at the tower, and that I thought she was just safe there, but.
Just like a logical decision, you know, this guy will be dead anyways, and so when you were in here, the idea is that Ahri is bot lane, which means that Jinx has to rotate for the mid wave. You know, even if you didn't see her when she was out of vision and you were on this side of the jungle, they will not rotate for the same wave because 2 carries can't really like fight over the same CS, you know, so Ahri will be bot side, Janna is perma leaving Jinx. If you notice, there is like a pattern. She just perma leaves the Jinx. And so in here, we are just basically like sitting here. And we are just looking for opportunities actually.
Yeah, so right now I don't have vision of Jinx, so...
You just wait for opportunities, that's the thing. I think it's fine if we take reps. And in here, we wait for opportunities. I'm not even kidding. Like, if this tower is not low enough, but basically, we can't counter gank. That's the thing, bot lane, even if we want to, these are too fed, they can outplay you. That's not what we can consistently get done, you know? So, in here you should be way more inclined to punish the Jinx, I would say.
Yeah.
That was a control ward here apparently. So probably we have to approach it from the other side of the jungle then. You can see the Jinx is here, and I would say more than often, unless you play in a very very high rank, people will actually walk quite deep for CS without respecting your E. So I think like Jinx has to be very very high rank to not actually overstep for next wave, because she starts pushing this one, and the next wave will be quite deep in lane, you know, so there will be enough space to collapse on her.
Yeah.
There are just really not better opportunities both sides, so as I said, you know, it's like a generic.
Yeah, I just missed it, I didn't. So, there's nothing I can do here, so...
Because when you're like approaching mid game, I think the idea is that it's better to like stalk for a kill than to go for a Krug, if it makes sense, especially if it doesn't provide anything significant, you know. So I think it's just like a game of patience you have to play. Like, I know some people are constantly like out there, you know, to like CS, to farm for something, so they accumulate gold as fast as possible, and it sounds a little bit counterproductive to just like sit and wait for opportunities. So I think like sometimes that's like the best thing you can do, you know.
Yeah.
So what do we do here? We just take wolves for now. We are scaling a little bit.
Yeah. I don't see anything else to do, so I'm just clearing.
I think it's fine if you're just clearing for now. Drake is coming, it's third Drake. Your Victor did scale a little bit. Smolder, let's see how many stacks does he have. He does have the wrong build, but 165, so not 225 yet. So, but I think the good thing is that just because you secure Drake, they are very far from Soul, and your Smolder and Victor and whatnot gets to scale, has more space to scale in terms of stacks, you know, on both sides. It's a scaling game, you know, that's the idea. It's just a scaling game, actually. And I think it's fine if you drop this. If this is a risk, it's a very risky fight. Yeah, it's a very risky fight. Even though Garen is 1-5, he's still gonna be useful just because of his mid-game kit. So it's better if you drop this completely. Wait until Victor gets his complete evolution. Anyways, they need 4 Drakes for Soul, so 1 Drake will not matter a lot. Victor needs to get all of his upgrades, or at least 3. Smolder 225 stacks, you know, right? And then we can do something. So that's like your game idea right now. We just play for our scaling.
Right now there's nothing up, so I decide to just hover here.
So you don't really commit. I think that's great.
Yeah, I'm not. Like right now he's so pushed up, so like, but I just disengage.
So wait a second. So the guy gets collapsed on in a bad position. People are not in the best position to follow up. Wukong is already positioning to, I think, counter the collapse on the other guy, on the Smolder. But the problem is since I was here and Ari to cut you off. Yeah, I mean, this guy gets very badly caught and... So Wukong does commit, but...
Yeah, but this is lost already. So I just ran out. I'm trying to just charge up W, but
It's very scary. It's very
there's
scary.
nothing I can do, so I just leave them to die.
I would just danger ping. Like I think you need to ping more. I think like one of the good things you should say. We drop Drake. We don't do Drake, and then people will not position for it, and they will just
Yeah.
kill. So I think you should just
Yeah.
danger ping Drake and just tell people to not fight this at all. I think the best thing we could do is just not fighting and waiting to scale up. And next Drake, Smolder will have enough stacks, by the way, 225, and Victor will have at least 3 upgrades and 11, which is important now, very important for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like that. We just ping them away. I think it's the game of communication pings here. But one thing I'm really thinking of, like, if he had the same position as Wukong, he can collapse with him at the same time on Jinx or Janna or whoever shows up, you feel me? Especially with Flash and or. Like, one thing I'm thinking of, because Drake is not spawned, I think if you are in the same position with your Engager, Wukong in this case, it's way better than just sitting in this bush, because for now Morgana is really not a follow-up. If you go in, you're gonna die. Like, she doesn't really matter, Victor is nowhere. So I think in terms of positioning, maybe we could get a play down if we actually just hugged Wukong, right? Because Wukong, I mean, similar to a Malphite, obviously like his R doesn't knocks up for that long amount of time, but it does way more damage, which means you reset, you get your reset. So if you sit in here, we shadow this guy. If we see that the fight is like brewing, we charge up our W. So I think in terms of positioning, it was very bad to be isolated in this spot, you know? Because from Ahri and Sinza we can't go in. So, because Garen has a faster rotation from this side,
Sorry, I have to ask you for like a 2-minute break. I have to just run to the toilet real quick
Alright,
and
that's
be back.
totally fine. I'm gonna wait here.
Okay, like 2 minutes.
Damn, my throat is a little bit dry. Just grinding when I'm already grinding. Just kidding. 3 kilogram dumbbell.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
Don't worry about it, it can happen if you have to go to the toilet. Can happen.
Can happen. So yeah, basically, you're thinking that I should be positioning with my Wukong. Like, is it just because he's the engage and I want to follow up, or because he's actually our strongest member?
Well, both actually. So in here Wukong does have a lots of damage to get
Yeah.
it, to provide you a reset. Like, look at this ultimate. He has two of these, 607 damage plus 12% max cell damage. So based on just this, or you can tell, this guy gonna give me a quick reset. It's also AoE damage. So if he catches multiple people, then you're more likely to get a reset. So this is like a generic thing. You position on close to your engager.
But
Or,
like,
oh yeah.
yeah, I'm just in this position. Why? The reason I'm in this bush is it's just like I'm so unsure. Like, I'm not. I'm so unsure if I should take this fight or not. But there's also like nothing else on the map for me to do. So I'm just like, yeah,
Uh,
just
you just rely on mistakes right now. So again, like we don't contest, we don't walk into these bushes at all. So
yeah,
if they are fishing for kills, maybe on Smolder, then we can punish that. That's what Wukong tries to do, by the way, right? So
yeah,
we can play very proactively here, but we can't make plays up front, so we can't walk anywhere here because we just die. We don't have
yeah.
vision.
I know that. So yeah,
Okay.
like I'm not trying to force my team to go in. I'm just waiting for something to happen.
Because,
But
like, you know
yeah,
what I say? I think you just kill Janna. If you charge up a W, like, Ari doesn't have a charm, right? Like, I think if you charge up a W, like, I know Wukong focuses Jinx, but Wukong kills Jinx, right? If you charge up a W from here, you just kill this Janna, actually. You get the reset, you get out. Ari doesn't have charm anyways, you feel me? And you are out, Like, I think in here, Janna would actually just die. And then we can our Jinx, as well.
could I actually reach her from the bush?
You W, flash Q basic auto, or you get a reset, no?
Maybe, yeah.
Or do you not have enough? It's 1000 HP, very squishy champs. I mean, you have like what? You have a Kraken, some damage item. Let me see your champ. If you charge up a full W, right? Like you W, flash basic, Q basic, or smite. I think that's supposed to be enough, no? Supposed
Maybe,
to be enough.
yeah.
1000 HP. The guy can't even shield himself in time.
Okay, yeah. But so we lose this fight.
Because if we hypothetically kill Janna, then we can maybe collapse on Ari in 2, And then maybe we can get something done, because Wukong is very fat, and he had like a second charge of his R. It just his E got cancelled, because Ari charmed him, but let's just say like it's always like a domino effect with viego. If you get one reset, it's more likely you get another one if you're in a good spot. So if you lose out on one thing, you lose out on multiple things. If they ever force your flash R out, then it means you also lose out on multiple things. That's how viego works. It's just always like a domino effect.
Yeah.
So even though viego doesn't look like you can't really do a lot of mistakes on this champion, And like at least you have to know like your lethal windows, Because I would say I think there are way too many fights, even before with the situation where you could flash on Ari here, if you remember it. I think there are just some fights you're not like committing into, I think like sometimes maybe you're a bit too scared that you can't like mechanically pull off something, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
So in here,
So basically, yeah, I'm running to the top side because they're on Drake.
yeah, I think that's totally fine. So we are still in a okay spot, even though they have 3 kills and they have quite a lot of champs that are ahead. Because we have scalers, so it shouldn't be a big problem.
So here I see Jinx, and yeah.
Okay, it's kind of weird that she didn't use her E at all, honestly, neither her W, but I guess you came out of vision, so she couldn't really see you. Good W, good everything, you picked her up. Then you spot
So
the
here,
weapon. You get out. You get out, hopefully, not really. Oh. Okay. And then they collapse on everyone. Yeah, cause their cleanup gang is very strong, Their cleanup crew. So I think we get the Jinx kill. But it does look like we can't extend it at all, I think, cause they're very fed. So I would say I think we get the Jinx kill. We should be satisfied with that. I think you should take the small victory. And you shouldn't try to push your lead more. I think this is fine.
I actually wasn't trying. I just, again, I didn't expect Xin Zhao to be in my jungle. I thought he had, backed off after Dragon.
It's Hex Gates, That's the thing, like,
Yeah.
even though they recalled, how does it go? Hex Gate, insanely quickly he's here, Hex Gate, you see, like, so normally...
So I am actually trying to back off. I don't actually expect, we see Xin. I actually don't see him.
Yeah, it's an unexpected angle.
Yeah, I don't expect him there, so...
So like a general rule, I think, like if they have Hex Gates, they are perma in your jungle, That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're gonna shadow Jinx to some extent, even though they weren't in position. But with Hex Gates, even if they recall, they are very quickly here, so unwarded Hex Gates means that they are very likely here. But this only applies to this specific, like, it should be way more anticipated into the specific Drake type. I think you don't really buy a lot of control wards, but into Hex Gates, it's very important actually. Because you can spot them on gate if it makes sense. Like, legit, even having a control ward here or something can actually tell you lots of info currently.
I think I bought like 1 or 2 in this game. Control wards.
Oh yeah, sometimes,
No, in this game, I just... Here I just don't want to commit over the ball, but...
Yeah, but since our reset, that's quite strong actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did get a Xin Zhao kill. We can't really force Baron, that's very risky for now. I think you're getting your Sterax right now, or did you get your... I think you got your other Thunder Sky, right?
Yeah, I'm getting this Thunder Sky. So,
I think in terms of like survivability, you should actually get Sterax this game, because Wukong, this guy scales up, Victor will scale, even the support does some damage soon she has Liandry. So your logic should be more likely, my team is full of damage, I want to be more durable, so meantime I will have less damage, but my team still does a lot of damage. I want to be more durable with Sterax, so I get my reset. Xin Zhao, Garen, anything that can be useful from the front line. And then basically, if I can survive to that point, then I'm in a good spot,
Yeah.
Because it helps into Garen or into their all-in, so I think that's your mindset. If your team has too much damage, then 100% you want to get that Sterax. They have some CC here.
Here I completely failed to that one. I was trying to double smite.
Oh yeah, now it worked out.
Yeah. But here I don't actually see anything for us to do. I mean, they're all alive. They're stronger than us. So I just reset.
Probably they will try to dive Victor, I would say, because he has no power.
So yeah, I just reset there because I.
Okay, Chaos Storm goes in.
Yeah, I'm going, but Xin Zhao intercepts me. I tried to ult away, but
Jinx knifed you, huh?
So
not sure, because I think you took the Gromp as well in next round. I think you took the Gromp, or what was it? It was blue. I think the blue was fine, but I think like from now on, I think you beat, right? You did B. So we had enough money for Thunder Sky already. I'm not sure if we needed blue, but it's just like someone needs to hover this guy very badly. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I am rushing towards him right now.
I think it was okay. I'm just like thinking right now, like, okay, we go here. Sinzao will be,
So I don't have vision of Sinshao right now, but I see they're trading hard to change here. So I try to hover. Like I'm not. So I try to help him, but Sinshao is already here, so.
Yeah. Okay. Does look like Victor will die soon as well.
Yeah, he's dead.
So how do we stay with stacks? 200, soon 225. I think Victor is completely stacked right now, probably.
I mean, yeah. I mean, right now the game just feels lost.
I mean, that's the thing, like, it's kind of weird because people pick a scaling comb, but then it's like they mentally boom too quickly. But even now it's winnable. That's the thing, even now it's winnable. But I swear, like, people don't.
I mean, you can see in League of Graphs, I almost never surrender. Like here, I'm actually just desperate. Like I feel like I'm trying something. Because he walked into me, and I knew this was a bad death, but I was just desperate. I thought this game was like so lost that I had to gamble something.
It's probably like completely lost. I feel like they just set up vision, you die, so that's how it goes, you know. Like they set up vision, no one to hover, no one to deward, so it's a 100% that actually. They have too many CC silences, like you can't even catch up to that Baron to snipe it, so
yeah,
that's just a lot.
Yeah, I don't see any way for us to win this game right now.
Smolder has actually both essence, and that's a new thing. Right, it's kinda troll a little bit, okay.
I mean, Dragon is spawning, but they are so much stronger than us. It doesn't really matter.
Oh, Ari is very strong. That's 100%.
So I'm not actually going in. I'm just doing the same thing as before, like hovering to see something. But they have like a 10k gold lead, so.
Yeah, it does look like it's not really like the fight that we're looking for.
So I mean, I just feel like I made a lot of correct decisions this game, like and counter jungling and everything, but I was not even like I wasn't even close to winning this game.
You know, just like in terms of micro, that's where like your snowball didn't start. You know, that's why you couldn't feel like you didn't get the lead. Because I feel like sometimes you didn't commit. You know, that's where the domino couldn't even start. You know, then you got some early kills, then we died. So it's like the domino starts, but then it stops. And so what happened, I would say some mechanical errors didn't lead you to get some resets, because if you get one, you may get multiple. If you remember in the earlier fight, here and there, one fight here, the other fight, you know, when you could ban Howard the Wukong. Then I think like other case scenario, you know, when you got multiple times invaded in your jungle, one time here by Janna. Then it happened, they forced out your flash. They forced out your R, so they kind of cutted your opportunities to actually gank and get the lead. So the reason why you couldn't get the lead is because you also had some macro misplays, in the sense that sometimes you rotated back in your jungle with low HP, you get invaded, your sumps, your R gets forced out, so you can't actually gank. So the reason why you couldn't get kills is a combination of like micro macro, you see?
Yeah.
So that's why like this snowball couldn't start. That's why I can't get a lead. I can't extend my lead because I get a kill, but then I die. Or my
But like that is my problem. Like I am like never actually strong enough to carry the games. Like that's my problem. Is if you go through like my last 40 games, I don't think there's a single game where I'm like I completely pop off. Like so yeah, there's not really anything to say here. They just end. There's no way for us to kill them.
I mean, it's a hard game to cooperate with teammates, I will not lie, but I think some mistakes that did potentially could be anyways lost, I would say. But I think there were some mistakes that really did add up and that really disallowed us to like pick fights more often than we should. Or it just comes down to that if we would be ahead enough, maybe we could duel Xin Zhao. So it's like the consequences of correct actions would also allow us to do way more as an example. That's what I'm thinking of. That's why like this game feels to be very overwhelming. Because I think there are just like some skill checks, like sometimes you're some commitment issues now and then, so that's what I see.
But if we still have some time.
Yeah, we still have time.
So basically, there were some other games. I'm not actually sure what would be the best ones because if you go a little bit down, there are two games that I played. I feel like I played very well, like these two. Where, but in these two, like my whole team was like, or in wait a minute, don't go in it right now. But I'm just going to like, and the game before, like my team was completely empty. But there's another game I think might be more interesting. I'm not sure. It's just a little bit above. Yeah.
This one.
Go bit higher. The third. Yeah, there.
This one, okay.
No. Sorry, it's hard to direct. Go all the way up. Go all the way up.
It's all the
and a little bit down. So the third lost there. Yeah. This 4-6 one.
Yes.
4-6.
So you got 12 assists. Which
no. Sorry. Not this one.
Okay.
Not this one. Can you find the 6-5 maybe? I think it was 6-5. Yeah. Okay. In this one, I had the winning bot lane. So I think that one would be interesting, but I could not convert. We made some good plays bot lane, but I could not convert it into a win, and then top mid lost. I think it would be more interesting because I feel like I had a chance to win because I actually did have a winning bot lane, but.
It looks like top was inting and mid died. 30 times in total.
Yeah.
It does look like in some of these games, I think it's just basically acceptance. Because I remember, like, sometimes if I was smurfing, some games I couldn't even carry, honestly, or even better players than me. So sometimes the best thing you can do is just acceptance, actually. You should just, like, really accept the situation you're in, and just basically, at some point you can even FFTs and move on. Because if you feel like people don't have the mentality, they permain, that's very likely not gonna be a win. So I would just like stick to like just acceptance in this type of games. But let's see, what did you do though? Because I remember there were some games. Oh yeah, go on.
But like I played yesterday, and there were like 5 games I feel like that were like I tried really hard and I thought I played well. But yeah.
Also, one thing I didn't talk about yet, by the way, just watch out for leashes on the enemy team, or just like watch out for generic like clear patterns. So if Amumu solo starts, it's gonna be usually Raptors. If he gets leashed, you can also look at the enemy bot laners. If they arrive later in lane than usual, that usually means that they did start bot side. This will work until a very high rank.
Yeah. But one question. Assuming that they don't start, that they're not leashed, like how should I get early information? Like if I'm stuck on blue side, I try to ward the Raptors late. But if I'm on red side, I'm not sure how to get any early information.
You
Like
can just like look at who leashes. You know, you can move your camera, observe if they use their mana. If they use
but
their mana, then it means that they
yeah,
leashed 100%. You know.
but if there are no leashes, right?
There are no leashes, then you can ask yourself one question. I want to pet in a certain way as a
Yeah.
jungler, you know, because I want to get the easiest gank done, you know. Now, the same logic will the enemy jungler apply. What's the most gankable lane? And that's where they will path towards, you know, but that can also like modify depending on trades, you know. For example, Amumu starts in here red or raptors, and meantime he's clearing in between camps. He can also ask questions if more opportunities open up elsewhere beside the original path that he had, you know, which is top lane in his case scenario. Okay, so we got the camp, top, bit flippy to gank right now. Renekton doesn't really have stacks, bit hard to
Yeah.
gank. Right now he also warded. Normally if Renekton had stacks and yet his W, that could be potentially gank, but we also kind of like want to watch out on mid because there can be some heavy trades done. But in general I would ban just path towards scale, honestly. Because into, like, normally this Fortune shouldn't even be this low on HP, but the idea is that they have heal barrier, a Nautilus that will gatekeep you from hitting W, he will CC you, so it's kind of awkward to even dive. So I think as an idea, you know, Renekton has an E, point and click CC, does proc his PTA, does have damage, can trade into Kale. So I think the pathing itself was very bad, because you also got to think about it, like you want a path top lane to deny Kale scaling. So if Renekton gets 2 kills, Kale will be so fucked as well, like he can't really play the game for a very long period of time. Then we have perma priorities for void grabs, you know. So you just got to think about like that, about like the exact consequences, because with Renekton, we can dive very easily, or we can kill her in lane, you know. So either way, if he pushes the lane, like if some trades are done, very easily you can dive, you know, very easily. Like in here potentially, like you saw her warding here, you know, like basically even like earlier on, like I think you could ban maybe level 3 ganker, you know, if Renekton played also a little bit better and got his Fury buff. The idea is there that if we go bot lane we do nothing, you know. So even through the river you could ban walk up, by the way, and gank her, cause like obviously like she had vision here, but you could ban like sneak in, you know, sneak up here and gank her from this area. But you know,
Yeah,
just, I
yeah.
think it was just based on opportunity we could go bot lane right now, but it still looks very risky because barrier flash heal, you know. So this looks like a bait to dive. Does look like I think you.
I walked towards it, but she's dead, so I just.
And now we can dive now, Kibus, I feel like, if they poke a little bit more. Oh, he took a
But
damage.
I was considering it, but there were like 3 minions, so I just
Yeah,
ward
actually,
and go away.
yeah, they don't have wave clear, don't have mana, I guess.
Yeah, so I did go there, but I just go away because here's Kiana, so I'm thinking about maybe there's a gank angle here.
Nah, don't even bother for now. Don't even bother for. I think you should ban just mainly Recall, because like Kiana is ungankable. It's similar to Akali in a way, but she has like 2 times she can go invisible in total for 6 seconds, and you cannot basic attack that. Like, even if you hit a W, she gonna be invisible for 3 seconds, then she can be again invisible for 3 seconds with some extra mobility. So you can assume that this is not very gankable, you know.
But what I'm thinking here is that I still don't actually that I'm pathing towards my Raptors because I like to recall with 1200 gold, and I'm just seeing if
I think you
because
need to
it's
just
in the
be.
way it's in the way. Yeah.
You need to just get pickaxe and you B. Honestly, that's like the best thing you can do. I feel like in here you can still decide if you want to go bot lane to dive MF, which is fine. But when MF died, that's where you are like, okay, I'm gonna B, you know. Because theoretically, like in here, Misfortune could back off and recall. That's the thing. So even now, you could theoretically recall, because I feel like if she's smart enough, she walks back, she bees. Small doesn't have mana for W anyway, so they can cancel. But yeah, I mean, you could punish greediness, because it does look like she's greedy. But if anything, I think you should mempad both side, you know, directly. Okay. Good flash out play on Lubu's side, and yeah, I think it's just like, I think you need to have a faster decision taking if it makes sense, you know? So like, sometimes you just have to be like, okay, I have to be, this is like the most consistent choice, you know? Because I think if you recall, get your pickaxe, you always got to think about objectives and about wave states as well, you know? So I'm gonna recall not only for items, I'm gonna also recall, you know, because there are no objectives. This wave gonna push back on top lane, you know? So if I gank someone with the pickaxe, I'm gonna deal way more damage by the time she pushes the wave back. If you would recall, get the reps really quick, the wave would be deep enough, because this wave does push towards, soon it's gonna push towards Renekton, I would say. Soon, slowly, it will push towards Renekton, actually, this will not freeze at all. And then we can get the gank off, you know? So I think you also got to track your recalls into perhaps a camp, or depends how quickly does KL push, because some people just perma push for no reason. But I think you should also like time your recalls into a camp, or into like potentially a over pushed wave state, you know, because now the wave is pushing. So I think that's what you should fish for more often. You should move your camera. Even though like you are way too far, I know, but you should still move your camera to ask questions to see if the wave is pushing, you know? If it makes sense.
Yeah.
And the guy doesn't have flash, we got point and click CC, you know? Like, this guy is just dead, you know? Like, this guy is just dead. So, especially as viego, even if people ward this bush, if you eat this wall, they're not gonna see your reanimation, and if they are this deep in lane, just this deep, you know, even this deep if Renekton stuns, you know, he gonna be dead, you know? So, no flash, he just dies, you know? Renekton does plenty damage. That's what I would watch out for. I think if Diana trades, then it can be okay, you know, to go in, but like she goes invis, then she goes invis again, you know, like...
She half trades though, so...
I mean, I think she could ban go invis again, that's the thing, and escape. I don't know why did she use her route, you know, but she could ban go invis and escape, actually. It's good that you flash though, because you punish the fact that she misplayed. Doesn't have flash either, so I think it's really good though that he did commit. A good Q. I think it's an inconsistent as an idea, because she misplayed, she could ban go invisible, but it's really, the execution was fine on her misplay though. It's really good that he did commit for the fight. So we do pick these up. We move our camera a little bit as well on top side as well now and then. Does look like Renekton maybe wants you topside. Let's see, the wave does push towards him. So it does look like Renekton just will actually allow the wave to push towards him. Now perhaps we have an opening before Drake. You see he's also pinging for help. No, it's actually the enemy kill.
But like, now I have so much gold and...
I mean, Renekton will be fine on his own. That's also fine if you recall, honestly.
I just want to recall and be close to Drake.
Yeah, that's totally fine. That's also a bit more consistent. Just something to look at.
So yeah, I'm running straight to Drake because Eune and the Mumu ganked him. So I start seeing if they need any help. So that's why I'm going towards it, but then I see, okay, he hasn't.
I think if you eat the wall, you would get the assist, no? Wait, I think you didn't spam your Q enough from A to B. Oh wait, you didn't have E up, But I think, I mean, let me see, like, did you use your W enough, E enough, something? You use your E? Probably if you spam your W a little bit more often, you're more likely to get an assist, you know? And I think, like, your pathing is a bit weird, because you always take the longest, like, path for some reason. That's what I noticed. Yeah, like this.
I'm going towards Dragon, not towards botlane, that's why.
But that's the thing, like, botlane has to be first, like, killed, so you have a prio, and then you can take Drake, you know? So it's always like we wanna set up a prio lane, and then we wanna go Drake, you know? Because the Drake gonna sit in one spot anyways, and recently we saw Amumu, so there is no way he's like on Drake, you know? So I think you could then take the shorter path, we get maybe an assist or two, right? And then we can get this, you know, very, very, very easily. But I think that's, you wanna secure first the prio lane, then the Drake ideally. Because there's always a risk, you know, if perhaps the play goes wrong, you know, and if they have ward, they could maybe collapse on you if they have health for that. So it's always kind of like the risk, you know. I think in here probably you could ban. I think you do E actually. You do E, but you don't really catch up. Yeah, I think if you use your W more often from A to B, I think you would catch up there to like Q, you know. But it's just, you know, something right now in hindsight. But by the way, like when you see the Drake, I think you could just like step up, you know, just Q basic, then W back, you know. That would be a little bit faster than using W as an initial, no? Or if you just Q, walk back, then W in, or Q, walk back, you know, basic, then W, even faster.
Okay.
Does take grabs. Usually we just love to take those, we take Drake. So I think like fights are very concerning right now because they got the Kiana, Amumu, Kale, Nautilus. So fights are very, very scary right now. In general, once they reach level 6. Amumu did Rika recently, so Kiana is missing, but he's mid-side. Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to be careful. Like I sweeped on the way, and I know this was a little bit dangerous, but I wanted to try to get some.
Oh, almost
Something.
6. Almost 6.
So
They poke a lot on bot lane. It does look like Nautilus does look like he's all the time fishing for fights from the bush. He's looking for a hook. So I think in here, you should actually just tell them to bait, because if you can intercept exactly when Nautilus engages, you're gonna kill them. But you gotta tell your team to actually bait. So you gotta ping them. Actually, there's this like fighting ping, you know, once you're about to collapse, because often I swear, like I know it's diamond, but it's like
this is actually emerald.
Emerald,
So,
but even in Emerald, like people are not really considering that you are here, and they could bait if it makes sense. So even if you go in, you got a ping, and you got a ping fighting if it makes sense. But in here, there's not much of a bait. It does look like your team.
yeah, I mean they push in, and then I see them start fighting. So I was going away when they were pushing in, but then I see them start fighting, and then I turn back.
Maybe an Nautilus skill would be interesting, no? Interesting R, but I think it missed. But I think it's fine. I think it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. I think the R was a bit weird, you know, the first R.
I was trying to execute Nautilus.
Like I think you had like one mistake. I think you could be just not caught by the Amumu R, you know, because I think like if you position, try to not position on top of your teammates if it makes sense, because then everyone gets AoE stun. Like look, I think it's good that you stun Amumu. He misses Q. But in here, like you should walk outer, so we don't all get R'd if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because in here Amumu is looking for a R flash angle. So I think if you kited upwards, that would be a little bit nicer as well. Just in terms of like movement mechanics, I think. Yeah, you see like slightly upwards. Very slightly. We just got caught by the edge of his R, as you can see.
Yeah.
And then we can R back, you know. But I think you could ban our Amumu, by the way, as well, instead of Nautilus. I guess, because the guy did also have flash, and if this guy flashes in, then it's easier. But this is like kind of a game of reaction time, I know. it's a bit hard to like react to that. Did it turn out fine? I think one of the weird things, like sometimes you don't aura in time in Viego. Like I think in here you already had the opportunity. Not here. I think after the reset you could ban aura a bit earlier the Nautilus, no? But you get the reset, you get the stun off. And so in here, like this guy gonna die anyways. You could ban turn on your W as well, but that's whatever. Like in here you could ban already ulting Nautilus if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because this guy is dead anyways to Smolder, whatever. We are Nautilus, so we don't get like stunned, you know. And then we all in him. He's also like hooking you right now, right? So I think that would help a little. But okay, it's not the end of the world. He does flash, he flashes after him, so it's whatever. It's like very, very mechanical. Like Viego sword can be very mechanical.
Yeah.
So we do
So,
get
like,
a decent lead
So,
right
so,
now.
so the reason why I wanted to take this game is because the game is like in an okay state right now. So this is not a game where like everyone is losing and it's super hard to play. But there's like, it feels like there should be an option, some way for me to win this game. But yeah.
So I think I think it's very bad. Like, well, I think I'm just thinking about Trinity Force not giving you enough snowballiness, if it makes sense. But like probably you need like a Mercs this game, and I would like go Mercs and like probably like a Kraken or Bork would give you some healing probably. Or maybe probably like go Bork, I would say. But I would just like stick to like Mercs early on, you know, after first item.
I usually just only build Bork if I'm into like 3 tanks.
But I think like in here, like instead of Phage, I think you should then actually go Mercs. I know it's expensive, but it does look like it's kind of impossible to fight them without Mercs because they have way too much AP and CC. It's like one of those rare games where you kind of have to get it, and then, you know, Amumu is kind of weird because he's useful until people get Mercs, you know, and then he's like way worse as a champion, if it makes sense. So
Yeah.
it's like from an Amumu perspective, it just kind of feels like the champion is whatever if you buy Mercs, you know.
So here I skipped camps because I saw Silas moving and it looked like we were going to dive, but then I back off.
Try to dive, Nautilus is not in position.
Yeah.
But like, you could bank
So
collapse on Nautilus, no?
I'm thinking that's why that's why I was waiting here behind the ward. I knew there was a ward in the bush, so I was trying to dodge vision.
I think you should then charge your W, because often I think you are very slow at charging your W. Yeah, I think like you should then charge your W, you know? Because now he hooks himself out, you know? Like you wanna charge your W, stun him, before he even hooks himself away, and then position in front of his escape angle, you know, after your stun. So you like, you W in the basic, but then you walk in front of him, so he can't like hook himself away, you know?
Yeah.
But I think regardless in here it's very risky because Kiana is kind of fat, she has ore, and I would say like, I don't know, like doing this now it's kind of risky because I think MF now has ore, and I mean Smolder is not in the best possible position, so I think extending this can be very dicey. Like I think probably Smolder should be in position for this, and I mean if we kill him here that's good, but otherwise it can get very dicey.
So yeah, now I'm trying to back away. But Kiana's already here.
Yeah, she does a lot. Smolder did hit something. Again, like probably you don't really walk in your jungle, do you? Oh, I don't like how he walked into the Nautilus hook. Yeah, I think like he could be here Nautilus, he just walked away. but before you get enough amount of teammates, you can't really walk here just like that because you get killed by their all-in. So I think you should be more cautious around your own jungle when they have more control over it. I feel like, because this side is one of the worst side to approach your jungle, you know. So I would be a bit more cautious on that, because that's like a habit of yours, you know. So I think like the only time we W'd is blue when you saw Qiyana mid lane, you know. So like probably like we should wait until it's revealed until she CS's, you know. So I wouldn't like walk anywhere this jungle, I would just go upwards. And once we see Qiyana, then I can go for my blue. Because they could just sit here with Nautilus. And now, only now, when Qiyana is here, I would just go in the jungle for consistency purposes.
Yeah.
But I think if Lulu is covering you, when Lulu was in position, like when she was here, when she was close enough, because now they could still one-shot you, but if she's in range, you can do it because she has R and heal. But at least Lulu has to be in range, you know, so at least Lulu has to be in like R healed range. Okay, so this happens, we get the blue. So what happens, let's speed it up as well, because not much happening for now.
Yeah, right now I'm not sure what to do, so I'm just... Yeah, we actually killed a Mumu there.
Where is your champion though? Wait, I don't see it. Oh, it's here.
Yeah, go back up like 15 seconds. Yeah. So basically I counter gank. Yeah, Mumu.
Counter gank, get that Mumu, huh? And so what do we do here? We Q her, that's good. EW. R. I think the R was way too early, honestly. You realize at least that you die, so I think that's great. But in here does look like we have to cooperate a lot with Lulu, because at least she can buff us, so we can be a bit more unstoppable than usual.
Yeah, I mean we have something, like we have a fat bot lane. I have also have kills, so it's like it's not an impossible game, I feel like. But that's why I want to view it, because but I'm trying just right now. I know my mid and top are super weak, so I'm just trying to do something with my bot lane. That's why I'm just hovering here. I know there's a ward there, so but I don't think anything works out.
Flipped. So it does look like the game is just like completely like F by mid lane, top lane. So we commit.
But like I feel like they're so hard to do anything, because they have a Nautilus and Momo. I'm not sure how to play around that.
So you need to get mercs, by the way, at this point, but also the other issue is that bot is the only lane that's fed, but they don't have a good gank setup, you know, so it's very difficult to cooperate, you know. I think so as viego, I know like it's a bruiser assassin, but I think you should also like know how to play as an assassin and as a bruiser. So I think often you shouldn't really be the frontliner. You should just go in when you get the resets against some comps, because in here if you commit, you get perma-CC and then you die, you know. So you should let your teammates to be the pokers, the engagers, but you're not supposed to like just commit, you know.
I wait for he's hooked, and so I ult on Qiyana. I'm trying to get him down, but it doesn't work.
I think if it doesn't kill us, you shouldn't R in, because you know what happens after? She goes invisible, then they kill you. So... Oh wait, she actually got knocked up, but regardless, he roots. Yeah, he roots or goes invisible and... I think it's just the same logic. I think often you're hovering Drake, which kinda like mind controls your teammates into like contesting it. So I think the same case scenario, uh, you should just like ping our teammates away, because the only lane that's winning is 2 scaling oriented, and for now we just drop this Drake actually, we just ping people
But
away.
I wasn't sure if we would actually lose it because I thought I knew we had there was a fed Kiana, but my bot lane was also more fed.
You didn't
And that
invest your gold into Trinity, and you need mercs, that's the
yeah.
problem, you know? And so, because you didn't invest your gold, like, we don't really stand a chance, because you should imagine your viego, you have some items, but you can't deal with their CC, you can't deal with their burst, and it's like, okay, I'm fed, but I'm not fed enough to deal with this, because I don't have items into them. So, just because I think you didn't have a recall pre-Drake, I wouldn't even consider it, but Silas also has to get like a perfect aura off, and I feel like there's like too many boxes that have to be like checked, so I feel like in general like we just don't really fight this, because even though MF is also behind, they have too much CC for her R to be, you know, set it up, so it just in general it doesn't really. Actually, she used her R bot lane, but they still have Kiana, they still have KL TPs, they still have like now to the source, so we just step up, we get CCs and we die, so. But then I think the main problem is Smolder gets caught, like maybe we somehow get the Kiana reset if Sylas ors them, but I think Smolder got caught, and I think once you see your ADC getting caught like this, you just drop the fight, because they're gonna get chain CCs and they're gonna die. Wait, but let me see, did some slight misplay happen here? Let's just see. So you go in,
I got stunned there.
your Q is on full, I basic, I couldn't really, yeah, it's not a lot.
I mean, I'm definitely not perfect mechanically. That's not something I can claim to be. But
It makes me think, I think the R was a bit early as well in a way. I feel like if we didn't die this early, like maybe we potentially get like an Amumu R kill. Just makes me think in here,
I was just prioritizing Kiana because he was like half HP. Everyone else was like a full HP tank at the time.
But that's the problem, like if you just get CC'd after, or she goes invisible or something, then it's kinda like they have a heal, right? So it's kinda like you go in but you get CC'd and you die, you know, so it just looks like a bait actually. I think this Amumu got also like Triumph, right? He probably had Triumph, so he healed a little bit after the kill, but I think the idea is maybe if we did back off and did not get so hard focused, maybe we would just get like potentially like an Amumu reset, and we can look a Q into a something, you know, but I think he went in too early in the Kiana, so potentially things could bend different if we didn't like commit for the kill. Or maybe if Renekton TP'd, but they also have a kill that didn't come, so it was kind of fair in general, the fight. So let's see what else happens.
But here I'm not sure what's happening. My Lulu is trying to kill Kale, so. I missed.
Missed a bit there. So does look like Kiel doesn't have ore, but then Renekton dies some. And then the game just goes progressively worse and worse because Silas and this and that. So I think like just mainly like, you know, as a good idea, you know, what happens in solo queue. Like one time someone starts to int in a winning matchup, likely they gonna int even more because they're gonna get too agitated over losing into like an easy matchup. And so I feel like to avoid this effect, I think if you just like patted into top lane from the beginning, uh, the whole game would get actually flipped over. Like, I know it sounds weird, but it's not like Renekton would die 5 times. Kale would actually die 5 times, just if he patted top lane and he would be killed, you know. Because as I
Yeah.
noticed, like this player likes to play very aggressively, but that also means he gets permacamped, you know, by Amumu, because he does punish it. If he gets ahead enough, it doesn't even matter if Amumu ganks, because he will die as well, you know. So, you know, not only because of that, but because like top lane is the correct lane to path towards, I think we would just avoid this situation where Renekton dies over and over. Because I think the problem wasn't that he had some misplays, but the problem was he got camped,
I know.
and
I know he got camped.
and then like quite the opposite thing happened, you know, where Kiel got to scale, and yeah, so that's why like I think there's just like so much like precision that's needed when it comes down to like knowing
Yeah.
your pathings in general. Um, let's just see how much time passed. When did I call you? So
It's almost exactly 2 hours now.
almost exactly, almost actually.
So,
Alright, so I can also ask you if you have any additional questions or if I forgot to mention something.
I mean, maybe one question is like when the other team just has like a much better comp, like let's just say, for example, in this game, like they have, or like if there was not a Renekton Kale top that I should be pathing towards, they have a Nautilus and Mumu. That means like even if they are behind, like even if they're winning, we still sort of lose. Like I'm not sure what to do in games where
So,
how I should approach games where they have like so strong champions.
so into Nautilus and Mumu, the trick is that you go Bork into Styrax and Mercs. Obviously, like after Bork, you can get Mercs. If you can exactly buy it in one recall and it's important for a fight, you could get Mercs earlier. But the idea is that these champions are scary because they can CC for a long period on amount of time to set up their teammates. But it's like if Amu's like stun doesn't last a lot, and let's say MF R's you or something, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
the idea about MF is without her R, she doesn't tend to be very useful, you know. Just saying. Uh, then you could just like R out, you know. So Amumu's R gets wasted on you, like MFRs or whatever, you know, and you get way too quickly out of CC. That's the thing. So you get to R out to bait out maybe multiple Rs, not only one. But Amumu's R is enough, you know, or something. And then your team can look to do something with that. So it's the type of thing that's like generally at 6 you don't fight them. That's how it goes, you know. Because like Nautilus obviously gonna be way stronger early on in skirmishes than the enemy bot lane, you know. Nautilus MF will be stronger. But I think it just like comes down to like play for your scaling in some games and just don't commit for early fights that are almost impossible. I think you should ping people more often off Drakes. I think that's the idea with this type of like counters, because they are only counters for a period of time until you get your items. So they don't counter you for the whole game, if it makes sense. And until then, you just have to not int, you know?
Yeah. Okay, one last question is like, if my bot lane is like pretty weak, like let's say I have a smolder ATC and the enemy support was a Janna, like the same thing was happen when the enemy support is perma roaming and my support is not roaming, but my ATC is like too weak to actually punish the other AT carry. What do I do in those games? Like when they just force me out of my jungle and we can't get anything in exchange in bot because they're too weak or something, or for some other reason.
You can try to 3-man the enemy bot lane, that's the thing. So then, if you get roam down, you can't contest your jungler. Then what you can do, like you could 3-man the enemy bot lane, because in 3 realistically you could dive, you know. And then you can get something done even if you have a Janna, because you know she can tank to some extent, she can like heal with her ult, so she can eat some tower shots, and you know if you stun someone, Smolder can do quite a lot, so you could dive a Jinx or something, you know. But I think the idea is there that if you're pushed out of your jungle, you gotta cross map something, or ask for your teammates. Obviously, same logic. You know, remove Kong if you remember him. Now, if he was there, if you pinged him, you know that we are invaded. I need someone to contest my camps. Then you should ping him, you know, so we can fight, so you can get your camps. But it just really comes down to communication and macro plays. Because alone you
Yeah.
don't want to contest it, especially if there are no mechanical ways of outplaying them. You don't have such an insane lead or something, then obviously like 100% you don't wanna like contest that. So then you should look for something else. Again, this is just the same thing, acceptance, and it's just really a skill to know when to and what to give up, you know. That's like what I heard from one of the best like jungle coaches. It's just if you can like accept to give up something, you know, just to not
Yeah.
die, that's like that makes you way better than most of the junglers, you know. Because in the past, people also used to int for scuttle scrub, if you remember, even in pro play. that was the joke in the past, you know. Um, I
But yeah,
also, oh yeah, do you have something to say?
no. I'm just gonna thank. Thank you for the help.
You're
So
welcome, Kari. I also gave you the student role in my Discord, which allows you to leave a review in the review section if you feel like. This is just a optional thing. Um,
okay.
just an optional thing, and I will also post this VOD, you know, on YouTube, so you can also rewatch it or show it to your friends. So if in case you forgot something, you'll be always able to like, you know, learn from it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Kari. That's it for now then. Have
Okay.
a nice day.
You too.
Alright guys, that's it for the video. See y'all in the next one.